Hello again guys and welcome to another video. Today we are doing a scenario in which the UK makes an empire. And the reason I'm making this is because in the past they used to have the largest empire of all time, controlling a large part of Africa. About all this. Also like Nigeria and Ghana. They controlled Guyana, they controlled bit of land in the Americas, they controlled, well, of course, the Indian subcontinent and Burma, well, at the time, Burma. So yeah, they used to have the world's largest empire, so why not give them one in the present day? So before we begin, a couple rules. First things first. In this world, there are no alliances, so no NATO, no EU, no UN, no CSTO, no, Arab League, nothing, no alliances. Every country, they can get help from their allies, but they aren't actually in an alliance. So with that, let's go ahead and begin with the UK declaring war on Ireland. And for this video in specific, actually, I'd like to say thank you to Adas Pro. He is the one who had the idea for these empire videos. And yeah, credits. So yeah, the UK begins to push into Ireland with Irish forces pushing back around Dublin. But in the end, this is going to be the UK's probably easiest battle in this whole video, as Ireland is putting up a fight since they don't want to be ruled by the UK. Wait, Northern Ireland's rebelling? And Scotland rebels? Ireland begins to retake their land. They recaptured the entirety of their land, all of Northern Ireland. Scotland falls. With that, the entirety of the UK falls to Ireland, and Ireland annexes the UK. Well, sadly, that isn't what's going to be happening here. That's literally just what I took out of my Irish dream of Irish unity, blah, blah, blah. Because in real life, sadly, that is not what happens, and the UK annexes Ireland. So yeah, it's kind of sad. But in the end, I mean, we all knew Ireland they're okayly strong when it comes to military, but against the UK, be honest with yourself, they're not gonna win. So with that, the UK annexes Ireland, and their next war begins over here in Iceland. Now this is actually gonna be easier. They make a landing in the south, take Reykjavik, Iceland's capital, and yeah, at this point, Ireland's already gonna surrender. They have no chance of winning, and a lot of their population's already gone. So Ireland surrenders, and the UK is now a lot larger, bit more population. So yeah, they're up to about 70 mil population, maybe, about the size of France now. But yeah. But the next thing is really going to put them on the world map, and that is the declaration of war on Greenland, which is, of course, an autonomous territory of Denmark. With that, Denmark joins in, and the UK is at war with Denmark. So they make a landing in southern Greenland, push along the southern coast a bit, but overall it isn't going to take much to capitulate this large piece of land, as it's all just ice. And after taking the southern coast of the country, along with pushing up north a bit, it technically can't surrender unless Denmark does, but in the end, they can't really do anything. So Greenland falls, and it's just Denmark, so give me 3 quick seconds. Oh, yep, that's about what's going to happen. Denmark, their mainland falls, and the UK island hops until Copenhagen's captured, and they annex all of Greenland and Denmark. This is followed by the declaration of war on Norway, as they consider joining when Denmark was at war, and the UK decides, why have an enemy when you can just have it be a part of yourself? Push up around the coast and capture Oslo, which is about there, and with that, Norway falls. So yeah, the UK now is a nice northern European empire, and they're officially the second largest country in Europe. I'm pretty sure even if you only count their European lands, still second biggest, especially if you count Greenland. So what's next? More expansionism. Apparently the UK doesn't have enough, and more comes in the form of the Benelux. They declare war. make a landing and first off capture Amsterdam, Rotterdam, and without the fall of the Netherlands, the Belgian coast, Brussels, and all of Benelux falls. Did I mention Luxembourg? No. Would Luxembourg put up a fight? No. Is Luxembourg really going to do anything in a war against this even stronger UK? No. With that, the UK is pretty much just taken over all of this land did they really have to do this? No, not really, but are they going to do it anyways because they just got a bunch of free land? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. If you're wondering what I'm doing, just cleaning up the borders. You don't have to do it, but if you ever want to improve your borders in a game like this, then you can go ahead and do that. Next thing's next, though, because where does the UK go from now? They've taken over pretty much all of the weaker countries in Northern Europe. I'd say they mostly have two options, and those are either Germany or France. But they actually managed to make a deal with Germany, in which, yes, they will lose a bit of land to the UK, a good bit of their northern part, including the city of Hamburg. But overall, Germany will continue to be an okayly powerful country. Yes, they're losing a lot, but in the end, they don't really have much of a choice here. They have to go with the UK's proposal, or just be invaded and lose even more land. But to kind of make it up to them, they become a UK ally, and both of them together declare war on France. With that, the UK makes the landing in northern France and begins to push in from Benelux. And yeah, it's not going to be a lot. In real life, Germany had to go through the Benelux to beat France, but in this scenario, they already have it, and within the first couple weeks, all of northern France falls. The Battle of Paris happens, which actually ends in a French victory the first time, with a good bit of French pushback along all borders. But in the end, all of northern France is recaptured. Paris is encircled, and the red team's just going to push around a bit more until Paris is weak enough to take the city and capitulate France. So yeah, they pushed around France enough now to the point where they could just, take Paris. They do this and win the second Battle of Paris. With that, they take the rest of the, I guess you could call it the Atlantic coast. This is the Mediterranean coast. And France falls as it surrenders to the UK and Germany. With that, we see the UK getting a lot of land out of northern France, and we see them making another deal with Spain, where they give up a lot of their northern bit in return for not being invaded, as everyone now knows what the UK is doing, and nobody wants to fight them, as it would be an almost certain death. And yes, I'm talking about pretty much every country in Europe right now. Maybe Russia could put up a fight, but I don't even think Russia could beat them at this point. Then again, Russia's losing to Ukraine, so who knows how weak Russia really is. That's enough talk about their enemies, though, as the UK is now expanded and has multiple allies/puppets. France is turned into a UK puppet, so they have full control over the country there, if you didn't know what that meant. And Spain is now considered a UK ally. They might be given some land out of France, but seeing as they didn't join into the war like Germany did, they'll still be given the same status, just without the land from France. With that, the UK now controls enough of Northern Europe to call their operations there a success, and decides, hey, we're strong enough, let's go somewhere outside of Europe. Where will that somewhere be? Well, yeah, as I said earlier, the UK used to control a lot of land here in Africa. They want some of that back, so they declare war on Nigeria, and make a landing along the coast. They capture Lagos and the entirety of the Nigerian coast within a few weeks. With that, they don't have to push up too much, as make a spearhead and capture the capital of Abuja. I think that's how you pronounce it. Probably not, but yeah, with the capital fallen, along with all their major cities along the coast, Nigeria surrenders and the UK takes over the country. they also decide to declare war on Cameroon, which no, these are not going to be their exact colonial borders from before, but why not get a little creative, says the UK. With this, Cameroon isn't going to last very long. The UK takes their coast, a lot of their south. I don't know the capital, but I'm assuming it's been captured by now. And you know what else has been captured? The entire country, as Cameroon surrenders. With that, the UK, they're not the largest country and they're not the strongest country, but they're pretty high up there. If you include their allies, pretty high up there. Is this enough colonial land, though? No, it is not, as they need another one. That is over here in East Africa. They declare war on Tanzania. And with that, all of the East African Federation joins in, including the DRC. So yeah, let's see how that goes. They make a landing in Tanzania, capturing a good portion of land before stalemating, allowing the blue team to take some land as this was a small landing. If you're wondering why it was so small, though, it's because it was a distraction. Where are they really going to make their landing? In Kenya. They push around a whole ton, capture the capital of Kenya, Nairobi, push across to, oh my god, what was the name? Victoria Lake, I think? Pretty sure, but maybe not. I'll check it later. They push into Uganda, Burundi and Rwanda fall. All of Tanzania is about to capitulate as they meet up along the coast with their other landing party. And yeah, the blue team is really just getting destroyed here by the British. In real life, I think they would still win this fight, but in this scenario, they are just incredibly powerful. They have gained a lot of land from a lot of powerful countries, like, as I said, France, Spain, Norway, Denmark, Ireland, Germany, all those countries. So yeah, they begin to push into the blue team quite a bit, but at this point, it's basically just the DRC and South Sudan fighting, and within a few weeks, it's just the DRC fighting. So the UK offers them a solution in which they take over everything else, but the DRC loses absolutely no land and are allowed to be completely left alone as long as their government changes their view of the UK to a good one and supports them. Of course, the DRC agrees with this as they know they can't win the war and decide to just take their losses, which aren't much, and leave. With that, the UK annexes the majority of East Africa, including quite a few countries, and that's another colony done. But then they decide that this colony is larger, and the people in charge of the other colony, they're getting kind of jealous of this new one. It's a bit bigger than them, so yeah, they decide why not expand their other colony. And why not do that to meet them up? They declare war on Benin and on Togo, on the Central African Republic, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, and the Congo. Declare war on all these countries because none of them are really strong. They're all pretty weak. The Central African Republic lasts less than a week against the UK. Togo, less than a few days. Same with Benin. And pushing down into the Congo and Gabon, yeah, it's not going to take very long as all of these countries fall very, very quickly. With that, the UK annexes all of their lands, and they are now an even more powerful force in the world as they control a lot of land in Africa, a continent growing in population a lot. Currently, they only have a bit over 1 billion, but by 2050, it's going to be 2.5 billion, then 3, 4, many billions. So yeah, this could help the UK gain more population, but honestly, I don't think they're too worried about that. Because, are stronger than India, but don't think they'd want to go to war with that country. So yeah, UK, big colony in Africa. There's going to be one more war here, and it's going to be here in the south with Mozambique, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Namibia. And for now, that's it, but one more country will be getting involved soon. So they push down into Malawi, down into Mozambique, capture the country. And at this point, Africa's just saying, hey, you know what, this is enough. And by Africa, I mean South Africa, Lesotho and Eswatini, which are annexed by South Africa. Lesotho's just to strengthen them in this war. But overall, this doesn't stop the UK from pushing down, just a bit along the border as they continue to push into Botswana, going with their exact same plans as before, just with a bit less troops that are used to hold the South African border. With this, they roll over all these other 3 countries, and it's left with just South Africa to fight, which basically just annexes all of these lands to make themselves as strong as possible. But that isn't going to do much, as at the end, this is South Africa, and their opponent is the UK, which in real life, again, already strong, but in this scenario, way too incredibly overpowered. If you didn't know, they captured Pretoria, they captured Cape Town, and they have one other capital, which I'm forgetting, but they capture all of their capitals. With that, they begin to push around, and let's go ahead and draw this in. So yeah, let's go ahead and draw that in. Zimbabwe loses their land. South Africa, and let's go ahead and put it all in now. Oh, that land. Yeah, basically the UK's just finished their ambitions in Africa with all of the south of it. Will that be enough? For now, yes, but in the future I can definitely see the UK returning to Africa to attempt to take more land. And if you thought that my US video was horrible for Africa, this UK is going to be even worse. With that, they decide, what's one colony in the way of another? They already have French Guiana, and they declare war on Suriname and Guyana, which both fall within like a week. This was just done to expand their influence in the Americas, and they might be going after one final continent now, which you may think is Asia and India or something, but as I already said, India is a powerful country in real life. This UK is stronger, but I don't think they'd want to fight that fight. And I think they're just content with a tiny bit of land in Oceania. So they declare war on Papua New Guinea, make a landing on Bougainville and take the island. Yes, I know this is Bougainville, not what I just colored in. But the island will not be getting their independence in 2027, I believe. But yeah, their capital is a really weird name. It's like Port something, Arbsley something. But yeah, Papua New Guinea falls, and the UK just starts taking any island they see. Fiji falls, all the Marshall Islands, all the Cook Islands, Tuvalu, everything, all the islands there fall. And with that, I think the UK's made themselves a very powerful empire, maybe biggest country, maybe strongest. It's close in all categories. But I do hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.